Hell nah, I ain't sleep today, but I'ma be okay. Miss my family on the east, but fuck it, I can't.
What is up, YouTube? Zukim1 here, and I am back with a brand new YouTube video. Today I am bringing you guys part 2 of the What Does Your Main Say About You Brawlhalla video. So, yeah, you know, I'm right on time. Just like I said I would be 2 weeks later, you know. Look out for part 2 and part 3 of this video sometime later on, a week or 2 from now. So yeah, without further ado, we're going to get on with the list. As last time, we're going to start from the top and work our way down. So we're going to start from Ada, and then we're going to try to end on Diana. Try to make it within a 10-minute window. Don't want this video to be too long. I promise you guys, just like I said, it will be 2 weeks from now for part 3, and then the final part 4. So I promise you, it's gonna be on time. I'm a man of my word, okay? You can trust me. But without further ado, let's get on with the video. So, if you're an Ada main, first off, we gotta talk about the personality. So, if you're an Ada main, you're a futuristic cyberpunk, right? You're a person who enjoys being able to play characters who has a futuristic sci-fi feel to them. You know, she looks like she came straight out of the Terminator or some type of 80s sci-fi film. So she's right up the alley for a lot of players who's into that type of scene. On top of that, right, gameplay wise, she's really annoying to deal with, right? In the right hands, she can be one of the most devastating legends in this game, and then the wrong hands, you just see down sig or neutral sig if you're playing on spear, right? Now, I'm not saying that Ada is just all, you know, it's just all SIGs or whatever, but she do got 2 of the strongest in the game, in my personal opinion. So, you know, in the right hands, again, she's an absolute monster. But in the hands of someone who don't quite have an understanding of the game and believes that your signature button is the only button that they have, you know, she's pretty good in that department as well. So, and now we're gonna go on to my boy Sentinel. Now, if you're a Sentinel main, you picked up Sentinel for probably 3 reasons. First reason, he's black. Let's be real. You wanted the black character. You couldn't really see yourself identifying with Queen Nai because she's Mayan. You couldn't identify with Nash because he was Puerto Rican. You feel me? Cassidy, she's Native American, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that. But we know for a fact Sentinel is 100% black. So that's probably one of the reasons why you picked him up. Second reason, he's a superhero. Come on, man. What can go wrong if you pick up a superhero? Like, the dude is dope. Like, he got dope SIGs. He just got a dope look to him. All his costumes look sick. Like, my man's got a Barack Obama costume. Like, come on, bruh. You knew for a fact you was probably gonna pick him up because he was the homie. The last and final reason is because, again, he's really good in a lot of different areas, right? He has a lot of defense, really good offense, great speed, just a really well-balanced legend, good weapons, the hammer and the kutars. So he's just a really good champ all the way around. So, you know, that's what Sentinel main is, in my personal opinion. Now, a Lucien main. Let's be 1000% honest. You picked up him because he is an absolute edgelord. But he's a patriotic edgelord. He's, I do what I must for my country type of person. But you know what? You wanted to be special ops. You wanted to be covert. You wanted to be a patriot that was under the wraps in George Bush Secret Service or whatever. I mean, not George Bush, George Washington. Sorry. George Washington Secret Service. Hey, I respect that. Here's why you probably also picked up my man's. I ain't gonna stunt. He got some of the coolest looking outfits in the game. Like, this, even though he's an absolute edgelord, he looks so cool. Like, super cool. And his weapon palette is really good, right? One of them requires a tremendous amount of skill, and the other one, not that I'm saying Kutaris doesn't take a lot of skills, because once you get to higher levels, it does matter if you understand how to use that weapon at to a higher degree. But the entry level isn't as high as, like, say, blasters, cannon, or scythe, right? So then on top of that, his speed, right? Like, you want to go fast. You want to be able to move like Sonic, and that's why you picked him. He's fast as fuck. I don't really think there's too many legends that keep up with this man, other than like Hattori and like a couple other picks of mine. But yeah, he's fast, and his signatures are good on both of his weapons. So not only does he move fast and got high mobility and things of that nature, but his signatures are really good. But a little too good, to be honest, because in the lower divisions, they use those signatures a lot. He's another one of those characters where people forget that there's another button other than your signature button, and they just press it a lot. So yeah, that's Lucien in a nutshell. So TEROS, right? TEROS, you probably picked him for 3 reasons. One reason, ancient mythos, right? You're probably a history buff. Somebody who loves Greek mythology and wanted to pick a Minotaur. If that wasn't your reason for picking the man's, then it was probably number 2, which is the man is strong. I mean, this man is strong. He got 8 damage. 8 damage. That man hitting like a 18-wheel truck. And unlike Zolt, his 6 actually do work, right? They are fast. They are very hard to react to sometimes, and they cover a huge hitbox. They are very difficult to punish and very easy to throw out without little to no punishment. Now, with that being said, he is just a really strong legend in general. He has great defense, great offense. Speed is really up there too. He got like 5 or 6. I think it's 5. Yeah, it's 5. And he's just really strong. So even though his dexterity isn't that high, I mean, like, what does it matter? He's fast. He can take a beating, and on top of that, he can dish out a beating. Like, what is this legend? What were they thinking? Yo, Blue Mammoth Game, please explain to me. What were you thinking when you made TEROS? Like, I seriously need to know. He's like Ragnar, but we're gonna get on Ragnar later. Just know, I do not understand what their mentality was when they had made TEROS. But I mean, the people who knew he was broken decided to main him, and now they probably got a 56 or higher % win rate. By the way, he has a 55-56% win rate. He's absolutely ridiculous. Now, on to BRYNN, right? You picked up BRYNN because you're into Vikings. You either picked her up because you're into Vikings or you're into Angels. You saw them wings and you were like, bruh, this is the legend for me, right? She's fast. She has high defense. She has really good offense, and she has good dexterity. You don't really need to touch with her stats that much because her stats are pretty even across the board, right? So you got a well-balanced legend who has some pretty unique weapon palettes. I say unique in the sense that it's not common to see axe and spear together. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure that each one has a unique weapon palette, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. So, for axe and spear, that's pretty good, right? Like, you got one that's pretty fast with the spear and things like that nature, quick punishments and things like that. And then you have the axe, which is supposed to build up damage. So, if you're really good BRYNN main, you can go from the axe, rack up the damage, go to spear, and then try to finish them off. Both of them have some pretty decent SIGs. I wouldn't say her SIGs are that strong, honestly, in my personal opinion. I don't feel like they're like super spammable or super good in that sense. Like, you throw those out to like try to help clean stocks, to be honest. She's good, in my opinion. She's good. I don't think she's broken, nor do I think she's like absolutely ridiculous, but she's a really strong legend that a lot of people probably have fun playing with, so that's why they picked her up. So ASURI. Now this one is probably when I first played ASURI, I honestly thought she was a terrible legend. I did not think she was good at all. This is like literally week 1 when I was playing this game. So week 1 I thought she was absolutely trash, and the person I picked over ASURI was Nyx. So that's who I decided to main over ASURI. But after playing the game for like a couple months now, I'm like in month 5 or 6 or something like that. ASURI is definitely a top pick for me. She's in my top 5 in terms of strongest legends in the game. She is ridiculously overpowered. Like, oh my god. I do not know what I was drinking or what I was smoking that made me think ASURI was anything less of a beast. Funny because he's a furry. So, you know, beast, furry, get it? That's why they pay me that big bucks on YouTube, boys. Anywho's, yeah, if you picked up ASURI, you probably are a big furry. Let's be real. Yeah, I mean, you wanted an animalistic type of character, and she's essentially that for you, right? She's your waifu. She's your waifu furry. Now she's quick. She's really quick. Her SIGs are ridiculously fast. They're very hard to punish. They just come out and you're just like, oh god, okay. Yeah, so she's ridiculously strong in that sense. And then on top of that, she also has like some really, really, really strong force on her SIGs. So her neutral SIGs on Qatar tosses you down to the abyss. Her freaking side SIG is really, really strong. It knocks you so far back on her side SIG. Is actually ridiculous. Her down SIG on Qatar is really, really crazy as well. And then her swords is just as broken in my opinion. Now, granted, you know, she does have her flaws, obviously, right? But as an overall offensive pick, so you want to pick her if you're an offensive person, right? Because that's what you play like. You're offensive. You're in that person's face, never slowing down. You're fast in the motion, always going through the stuff or whatever. You're processing stuff at 1,000,000 miles per hour, same speed as a NAS player or whatever. But you wanted a different type of character in terms of like being able to have having a little bit more than just mobility and damage, right? With her, she has mobility, damage, and dexterity, so she can toss out her SIGs a lot more freely because her cooldown on it or the recovery on it isn't as high. So, you know, she's a really fun legend to pick up. Now we're gonna go to my boy BARRAZA. Now, if you picked up BARRAZA, you're a wasteland punk dude. So we had Ada with the cybernetic punk. Now we got my boy BARRAZA with the wasteland punks, right? You are a Mad Max fan, which is cool. You know, Mad Max is a really cool movie, right? Or you want one of those dudes who came from Twisted Metal or something like that. But hey, you know, no judgment. You like what you like. I personally I can't get down with it, but hey, you like what you like. But BARRAZA, ridiculously strong legend, right? He doesn't have that much speed, but what he doesn't make up for in speed, he can take a beating like no one else's business. It might be due to the radioactive that happens because he's from a wasteland type of thing, but this man can take a beating. And on top of that, his SIGs are so strong. I have no idea why his signatures are so strong. Like, and they're so easy to hit. Like, with some people's signatures, it's kind of difficult to try to hit because they hit in a funny way or they come out like unique or different or something like that. With his, it's just straightforward, right? Like with his neutral SIG on axis, it's like, hey, I'm gonna hit you, and then I'm gonna toss you down to the ground like ASURI, except it has a wider hitbox for some reason. And then his side SIG comes out really, really fast. Down SIG does the exact same thing, and the same thing applies to his blasters. He's just a really, really ridiculous legend. On top of that, he does look cool in some of his skins. I mean, again, you want the more sadistic, psychopath, future, wasteland punk look, which is why you probably went over with BARRAZA over Ada. On top of that, he's the exact opposite of Ada, obviously, right? He has a whole lot of defense and not a lot of speed, and but just close to amount of same damage as her. Whereas Ada, she has high dexterity, high speed, high attack, but no defense. She got like 3. So she can't take as much of a beating as BARRAZA. So that's probably why you pick BARRAZA over Ada. If you were, again, just looking at, oh, what type of punk legend can I pick up? So on to Ember. Now if you picked up Ember, you play D&D, you play Dungeons and Dragons, or you're into elves, which again kind of ties into Dungeons and Dragons, but we're not gonna get too deep into that. Let's just say that you're a person who's in touch with nature. You love the wildlife. You love greens. You love being able to be intact with the wildlife around you and things of that nature, which is why you like using the wolf size sig, the hawk. You feel me? The rest of her sigs are pretty kind of bland, to be honest, which is pretty weird because like the rest of her sigs are just pretty, like, I guess, straightforward. They don't really do anything like spectacular to look at. They're kind of boring, actually, if we're being 1000% honest. But again, Ember is one of those types of legends who's offensively built, right? She's built for offense and nothing else to it. She hurts a lot. And sometimes, for some reason, when you hit her and you think that it should kill somebody with 3 defense, she surprisingly survives. It is absolutely abysmal trying to figure out how does she stay alive when she only has 3 defense. It feels like Blue Mammoth Game might have messed up on the coding when it came to Ember and she has more defense than what it actually shows. I don't know. Just know that sometimes Ember takes a lot more of a beating than most legends, even though she only has 3 defense, which is super weird. Maybe you guys might have had caught on to that, and that's why you like her. Or again, like I said before, you like her look, and that's why you had grew attracted to her. But on to my boy AZOTH. Now, AZOTH, you picked him because you're into skeleton characters. This is the only character in the game that is a skeleton, obviously, right? So, because there's no other skeleton characters in this game, you was like, oh boy. Right, that, or you're into D&D, right, and you saw a D&D related character, which is a lynch, right? A lynch is a character that's made for a lich, yeah, the lich, right? A lich is a character that is made from the dead and only wants to spread death and destruction, which is why his signatures represent that, right? He summons like a green gas of death that comes out and it hits you and it hurts like crazy. On top of that, they come out pretty fast. A lot faster than you would think that somebody with his dexterity would be able to get out. And I'm not gonna lie to you, AZOTH got some really strong weapon palettes, right? With the bow and the axe. So you picked them up probably because you were like, man, axe is really strong, yeah? Bow is really strong, yeah? What if they made a legend that had both of those? Bruh, and that's how AZOTH was born, and that's why you picked him up. He hits like a truck. He can take a beating. He can dish out all his sigs in a really, really fast form, right? On top of that, he's pretty fast. He's not the fastest, obviously, right? But he's pretty fast. He can keep up with most of them, especially if you take advantage of the dash feature. Because any character with like 2 speed or something like that can keep up with any other legend as long as you're dashing the entire time. So AZOTH is a really, really good legend. I would say he's more on the balance side though. He's not like overpowered in my personal opinion. He doesn't have anything that just makes him feel overwhelmingly strong, but he's pretty balanced. So that's AZOTH in a nutshell. Then we got our boy Koji. So let's be 1000% honest right now. You picked up Koji for one reason and one reason only. He's a damn samurai. Let's get the elephant out of the room, okay? There was no other reason why you wanted to pick this guy up. Now, on to the legend himself, right? His SIGs are mind-boggling. They're so fast. You can literally just start having the SIGs as like regular normals because they're just that damn fast. With a freaking 8 dexterity, you can just throw them out and don't have to worry about any type of punishment. The only ones that you would possibly have to worry about punishment is down sig on his sword and like, yeah, that's it. Just down sig on his sword. The rest of them come out insanely fast. Has almost no recovery at all. On top of that, he hits pretty hard. I'm not going to say he hits like a truck, but he hits pretty hard. On top of that, his defense is okay. It's not the best, right? For defense, but, you know, he can take a little bit of it beating, right? Then you got his speed, which kind of makes up for it. And again, you can go for more of the... He's one of the characters that you would definitely want to make sure that you emphasize either speed or defense on, because it feels like there's times where Koji are just lacking in certain areas. You're not exactly sure, but I guess that's an opinion for the player themselves who's playing Koji. So they try to figure out what they think they need for him to be better for them. But I feel that Koji's in a position where it's kind of difficult to try to get him always in a situation where he just feels better than the other legend that you're going against. So he's I wouldn't say he's like extremely difficult, but he's not super easy. Even though his weapon palette is kind of easy, on the easier side with the weapon, the sword and the bow. It's like, I don't know. He just, it's a reason why he has a 48% win rate. And what I'm saying is I feel that most people don't understand how to utilize him in the most effective way possible. And until people figure that out, he's going to be around that 49% win rate, because most people don't effectively know how to use him. Now on to ULGRIM. I have no idea why you guys picked this guy. You probably picked him because you're into grandpas. I don't know. Maybe mad scientist looks or something of that nature. I just know that ULGRIM is an ugly motherfucker. So maybe you might have took him up for sympathy or something of that nature. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. I had nothing on this guy. I was literally combing through my notes trying to figure out what I could say about this dude. I have nothing. I mean, maybe it's because he's just really strong and he has high defense and moves really fast. On top of that, he has axe and lance, which is some of the most cancerous weapons in the game. People complain about these weapons all the time. We're in a meta where axe is just ridiculous and lance is just always going to be strong as fuck. It's never going to be a time where you're just like, oh yeah, lance, I could definitely be the lance, right? I mean, granted, yes, you can be the lance, but it's not a walk in the park, right? It's not like going against, in my personal opinion, going against like blasters or going against like I don't know, scythe or cannon. Those things, they require a lot of technical skills with the game, and if you don't have it, then you're just not gonna be able to perform that well with those weapons. Whereas a lance, on the other hand, is long. It has a big hitbox and it can hurt from a distance. On top of that, you don't have to worry about like most people being able to get too close to you, because again, you got that range on it, right? You can play that game and take advantage of your distance. His signatures are pretty unique though. His signatures I feel are very different. They hurt a lot and they come out pretty fast. They're not insanely fast. You see the obvious cooldown. If ULGRIM throws out his SIGs, you can punish them pretty easy. But at the same time, if he hits you, it hurts so much. Like, I think that was the balance that they was going for with ULGRIM, was that if you throw out your signatures, you're going to get punished. But if you hit him with it, ooh, that's a lot of damage. Anywho's, You probably picked up ULGRIM just because of stats and weapons alone. I don't think you probably picked him up for aesthetics, but I could be wrong. That's the reason why you guys had the comment section. You can correct me on anything that I said about your legends. Now, on to Diana and the last legend of the video. So, if you picked up Diana, you're pretty similar to Lucien. You were into the whole patriotic look and things of that nature. You wanted a patriot type of character, somebody who looked from the 1700s and things of that nature or whatever. But, right, Diana offers a lot more, right? Because in comparison to Lucien, she has more, she has not as much speed, but she's close to it. She's close enough, right? She has high attack damage, well, higher than Lucien. She has really, like, her SIGs are insanely overpowered in my opinion. Like, I don't know what the fuck Blue Mama was thinking when they made her signatures. They was like, yo, yeah, Let's make a signature. That hits like right in front of you. What? That's terrible. But when it hits you, it knocks you so far back that it feels like we wasn't thinking when we made this character. You're a genius. Thank you. I know. And I ain't gonna lie, the Sig hitbox is really small, but if it hits you, man, that thing can toss you across the map. Especially her down Sig on blasters. That's probably one of Diana's favorite go-to moves. Down Sig on blasters, especially when you're trying to get a punish, or if you're trying to just clean out a stock or something like that. They rely a lot, very heavily on the down Sig, because it just claims stocks. There really isn't too much that you can try to do to stop that thing from happening. But with that, I am going to close out the video. So if you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. But this has been Zuki and I will catch you guys in the next one.